Well, hi, Impact family. It's Pastor Bill for a weekly update. And I'll just begin by saying I think it's hard to overstate the amount of change we've experienced in the past 14 months, regardless of wherever you want to point that word change, family, us as individuals, church, business. It's interesting to me that some of those changes have created even more changes like underneath it. Churches, including Impact, have felt that. Between March 2020 and now, some people have decided to move on to different ministries, and other people have said, hey, we're all in. Whatever we're doing, wherever we're going, whatever's next, we're all in. So that's been interesting. Between March 2020 and December 2020, our finances really stayed pretty consistent. We were right around that $65,000 per month in order to meet the budget that we had set. But in January, that dropped off, and currently we're sitting at right around $40,000 a month. And as you might, as you hear those numbers, you're thinking like me, that's pretty significant. Yes, it is, right? Since March 2021, we have seen 4 well-loved and key staff people resign, and I would imagine you, like me, have found myself really saddened by that, and that's a big challenge, right? So as all of that piled up, and as we were looking at all of that information, we began talking about what are we going to do next? What are we going to do now? Because obviously business as usual really isn't an option. And so we really saw like 3 paths, 3 options, if you will. And so Fred Briggs on our staff and myself sat down with a board, and we said, look, here's what we see. Maybe there's another one, but I don't know that we see anymore, at least. So one thing that we could do, option number 1, let's call it, is that we could call our district superintendent, and we could say, hey, Impact needs a new pastor. Me talking now, I don't want to be that person that stays too long. Like everybody knows it except for me, right? And I talked with the board, and I just said, look, guys, if I'm the problem, I need to know that. I need to be made aware of that. And I will step down. I'm not going to cause a problem here. The second option that we talked about was, well, we could try to spend the next few years building back up to where we were. The problem is, I don't know that we really have the finances or really the time to do that. Certainly not do that very easily. The third option was that we completely start over. We let Impact as we've known it have a peaceful and honorable death, if you will, and we start a new church in essence. So after discussing that with the board, after discussing that with our district superintendent, we believe God was pushing us towards starting a brand new church, if you will, having a brand new start. That created and creates a shift in what we do next. And so I want to come back to these things next week. I don't want to try to get everything done in just this particular video, but some of the steps that it would include for us to have a brand new start would be number 1, and you can help us do this. In fact, you're the only ones that can help us do this. Let's find out who is in the core of this new ministry, who's all in, who's ready to go, and to spend the time that we need to equipping and empowering that core for what God has next for us. That would be one thing that we need to do. Number 2, we absolutely need to start more house churches. That is imperative for us to accomplish the kind of ministry that we believe God wants us to. Number 3, we are continuing our online services. We already have that plan in place and the speakers in place in order to do that. Number 4, And we'll talk about this in more detail, especially when we get to our June 6th town hall meeting. We need to have an honest conversation with the core, with the people that are here, with the people that are all in, about the current facility that we have. Number 5, the board has been pretty adamant, for myself and for Fred in particular, that we take some sabbaticals to get healthy, so that we're at a place where we're ready to do this new launch. Number 6, I need you. I need to have you as prayer warriors. I need to have you as people that are praying that God will speak to us clearly, and pray that God will bless and God will show us great favor as we move forward. This gives us some opportunities, I suppose, that we wouldn't have had any other way. It gives us an opportunity to reset. It gives us opportunities to maybe correct areas that weren't as strong as we would like for them to have been, but it also gives us opportunities to push out into some areas that are new opportunities for us that would impact our community and our families in a positive way. And at the end of the day, I just want to say I'm hopeful. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about our future together, but we need you. You're going to be the ones that are going to make this happen. You're going to be the ones that are going to make this work. You're going to be the ones that pray, and you're going to be the ones that make a difference as we move forward. And so I just want to pray God's blessing and God's favor on you as you pray that for our direction as well. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.